Hello and welcome to Big Sky Sounds. I'm excited today to be joined by three really amazing individuals who we'll introduce soon. We'll be talking about our performance Christmas on Broadway, which is on Saturday, this Saturday, which is really exciting. And it's going to be full of festivities, full of Christmas cheer, so much enjoyment, so much joy will be felt and heard. And you're just going to want to dance your way out of the Alberta Bear Theatre. So without any further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome Rocky Mountain Jazz Collective music director, Scott Jeppesen, as well as our wonderful Broadway duo, who we've all been just so excited to have back in Billings after two wonderful experiences with Guys and Dolls and West Side Story. So welcome back, Nick and Desi.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you
We're so excited to be
much.
back, and we love Billings and the community, the arts community, and working with Scott and the Billings Symphony. We're just so excited to finally be here after working on this for what feels like a year or more.
Yeah.
And it's Christmas time, which is the best.
Yes.
Oh,
The holidays.
yes.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we've been talking about it, I think, even
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah,
'cause
we have.
When you were here
Yeah.
for, I think it was Guys and Dolls.
Yep.
It just happened that your daughter's birthday was right in
Oh,
the middle
yeah, it
of
was
production week.
so
and
That's
great.
right.
so there was a little birthday party for her, and we were hanging out talking and said it'd be great to collaborate on something. And
Yeah,
we
and
never,
we
at the
did.
time, we didn't really dream of it being a holiday show. It was
No,
gonna be
that's
something else, but
It's always been our dream to create a holiday show together where we sing and dance and have these amazing arrangements. And so when you said it, it was like, kismet.
Yes,
like,
please.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's meant to be, right?
yeah.
And here we are.
It's
And
so
it's kind of grown in scope as well, because we talked about doing something, and most of my background is in writing jazz and big band music, and which is what the Rocky Mountain Jazz Collective typically is. And when Ann Harrigan asked me about doing this show, I said, absolutely, let's do it. I'll write this big band show. We'll feature Nick and Desi. It'll be great. And then she called me up a couple days later. She says, well, would you mind if we added a bunch of strings to the equation?
Like, well, I got to do it.
Like 2 or 3.
Absolutely.
No, 12. Or how many do we have?
Right.
More than that?
I think we got about 30 of them. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Wow.
so
Yeah, so-
awesome.
It's wonderful. Scott is our guest conductor for this particular one, which we are so excited to have. Obviously, he's a local native. He's so well known in Billings for the wonderful work that he does do and the arrangements he does for Rocky Mountain Jazz Collective. As you all know, Rocky Mountain Jazz Collective is a regular participant in our Sukin Series concerts. So we're very thrilled to have Scott on board for conducting and directing this, as well as arranging the music. I would love to dive in to learn more about the thought process behind this, how this vision came to be.
Well, it's working with Nick and Desi, it was obvious it's going to be something Broadway, based. But I really love the idea, because that's, my full-time job is, I'm a professor at MSU Billings. And one of the things, my motto that I'm always preaching to the students all the time is that it's just 12 notes. Like, we're using the same 12 notes now. Lady Gaga uses the same 12 notes that Bach used, believe it or not. Yeah. And I don't know that there's a better musical medium to really demonstrate that idea than something like Broadway, where you look at the history of Broadway, and there's things like the old Cohan Golden Age of Broadway, where it's more classical, there's jazz that's in there, and then you have the full gamut up to modern day, where it's pop music and Hamilton with rap music, and there's Latin music and West Side
So
Story.
much,
You have all these different things, and so it's my chance to kind of put my money where my mouth is with my students, and really kind of get the chance to demonstrate that with an ensemble.
Yeah. Now, what I love that I heard you said is that you inspired and took like a composer and kind of paid homage in every song. There's a bit of like Sondheim in this one, a bit of who else in the other. Which ones are really noticeable? Which ones do you say, oh, when you come to the show, pay attention, Jingle Bells, there's a hint of, I don't know.
Yeah, well, the first two songs start off very similar, and it actually has this kind of a bell chime sounding voicing that was very, very Sondheim inspired. Some of the second half, we begin with White Christmas, which is really kind of more of a Cohan inspired introduction to it. We're going to feature Desi on Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And I did kind of a reharmonization of that one to kind of modernize it and bring it into the, a little bit more of a pop treatment to it, which is just going to sound lovely on it. It's going to be awesome. And then there's some that are kind of a little bit more of a stretch. So I didn't say, okay, I looked at the history of musical theater extends before there was Broadway, right?
Yeah.
You've got things like opera and ballet,
Of course.
So on Christmas Waltz, there's a little bit of a nod to Tchaikovsky, and
Yes, yep, I heard that. Yep. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, the overture for the thing. There's some stuff in there that I pulled what I know about the music that Mozart wrote, and so trying to mix all these different things together it's a nod to individual composers, but also a real nod to that tradition that is Broadway, which is bringing all these different types of people, types of music together to create something new.
Yes, and
That's
we have
great.
many different styles of dance because of what you've arranged. So it's cool to like pull out some good stuff.
Waltz, a bolero.
Waltz, tap.
We're
Yeah,
tapping
it's
in the show. Of
basically
course.
everything you would see on Broadway, little snippets of
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be so wonderful. And when Scott and I talked during our last conversation, he made me so excited for
good.
Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, just because it's that is one of my favorites, and I'm excited to see the more modern flair on it and see how it turns out. Plus, being able to watch the two of you perform, can we share a little bit about how you two met?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We speak a little bit about it in the show, but it's fine to mention
Yes.
it. The show we met was at Christmas time, White Christmas.
Yeah.
So we did it in Denver,
Yep.
which we stopped in Denver to get here.
Yeah.
I just remembered that.
you connected to them.
So we met doing that show,
Yes.
and we didn't date then, but
No, I had a girlfriend at the
after
time.
that show we reconnected, and ever since.
Six
yeah.
months later, Desi found out I was single, and she
Yes.
was like, "Hey, Nick, how you doing? Want to grab a coffee?"
Yeah. And then
And the rest is history.
years
So.
later, married and a child.
That's right.
But that's how we met, and
Yeah.
we created our own show, Nick and Desi, and we called ourselves Superheroes in Love. We love superheroes, and I
Yeah.
think just,
Yeah.
this day and age, just taking people away from everyday life and performing and bringing joy. Superheroes kind of do that and help people.
To bring hope.
Yeah, hope. So we just have that. It's a fun little hashtag, or like our Instagram is at Superheroes in Love. But we created that. We created a show in Sonoma, Broadway hits, jazz tunes that we sing and dance together. And the only other time we've done a Christmas show is like in a smaller venue,
Yeah.
like a cabaret venue where we had a 3-piece jazz band.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is
to
going
be
to be
able to
significantly
go from 3
bigger.
to how many? 40 something?
For the full ensemble, it's probably about 50.
50.
Yeah.
Wow, to have that sound and that's
Yeah.
oh gosh.
Yeah,
it's
we've
gonna
got
be
the
incredible.
20-piece big band. We've got a percussionist there. We've got the two of you. We've got
Yeah.
all the strings. There's 5 saxophones, 4 trumpets, 4 trombones, piano, bass, drums, guitar.
And a partridge in a pear tree, right?
Partridge in a pear tree.
Cannot miss that.
No, it's exciting. We can't wait to hear all that. But yeah, it's great. So
Yeah, and if you haven't had a chance to check out the show they created, Superheroes in Love, it's great.
We have
There's
some-
skits, songs.
Yeah.
I was showing my youngest daughter,
yeah.
Hallie, a couple of the episodes and just kind of perusing YouTube,
Yeah.
and we came across the mock interview that you guys did with Lin-Manuel
Lin-Manuel.
Miranda, which she thought that was the funniest thing ever.
good.
What do you like to bring to a party? Eyeballs.
Eyeballs. He said eyeballs in an interview, so he's such an interesting guy. It's so smart,
Yeah.
So like what
fun,
he was
it's fun.
talking about was it was still really strange.
Yeah.
But we're like, that's gonna be the answer.
back in the 90s, Weird Al Yankovic would do these
Yes.
great fun interviews of celebrities, but he wasn't there. He would steal,
Yes.
lovingly steal.
Put Madonna in.
The original interview was with not Ryan Seacrest, but
Someone
someone
on
like
MTV,
that.
yeah.
And then he would cut them out and then ask questions, but sometimes they're really odd questions, or like there's an awkward pause, and like it. So I copied Weird Al, and we did that kind of thing with Lin-Manuel. And like there's one answer Lin-Manuel says, like, it's like a circle that I didn't know needed to be finished. Like he has these interesting. So the question, I just wrote a circle that almost, and I was like, what is this? And then he answers that like it's
We're just being
we're
so
being
silly.
silly. We have so much fun. So yeah.
That's
yeah.
wonderful. And it adds to the stage presence as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, because you guys do have such great chemistry on stage and off stage. I know, you're just so wonderful. I think being able to come together with such a large ensemble of musicians, what piece or pieces are you two most looking forward to?
I love Mele Kalikimaka.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say
that. It's just to hear the full orchestra and your version,
is really
arrangement.
cool.
There's a really cool, one of my favorite British singers is Jamie Cullum, and he has this amazing Christmas album called Piano Man at Christmas. And if you listen from the beginning to the end, it's just this, I can see
like
a movie.
Musical.
It's like it's incredible storytelling, and he is just, and his arrangements are brilliant. So we're doing 2 of his songs in the show.
Yeah.
Hang Your Lights and
They hopefully will be 2 new holiday favorites for people.
Yeah,
because we love it.
Yeah.
Putting in some more contemporary 2 songs
Yeah.
that maybe no one's heard, maybe people have.
Yeah. So the finale of Act 1 is Hang Your Lights, which Scott has arranged as like the first, it repeats as like a slow bolero that goes into like the big finish, and then it slows down again to the bolero, like
it's
you can hang your lights, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
it's
But
great.
like it's really,
They're gonna see it.
so interesting. Yes, you're gonna see it.
He
You're
just
gonna
does
see it.
the whole song.
So, anyways, I'm really excited to hear the entire orchestra do
Yeah.
that, and it's going to be the power and the musicians. Oh, it's I just can't wait. I can't wait. I'm losing my words because I'm so
I
excited.
know. I'm so excited too. I'm actually bringing my oldest daughter music as
How old is she?
her life. She will be 10 in February.
Oh, awesome.
And I actually moved my normal seats closer so she can have better full front
that's so
experience.
sweet.
So
That's
I
great.
know, and I just think this is such a wonderful thing for families or people of all ages. I think being able to bring Broadway into this modern era, which we have seen in New York.
Yeah.
They're so good at doing that. But being able to bring it to Billings, where we don't really have Broadway,
Yeah.
or that type of art. We have an
Yeah.
art scene, but it's not
not
as
that.
modern.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be such a wonderful way to meld the two with the classics, the
Yes.
jazz, Broadway, and bring this show forward. When you guys were talking about this, what formed it into more of a Christmas show?
Oh yeah.
It really it came down to kind of what the ask was from the symphony. So
Yeah.
when Anne had she reached out and asked me if I'd be interested in being the guest conductor for a Christmas show, and I said I'd be definitely interested in doing it. I said I want to write something, and I had asked her before about doing a collaboration with them. It just hadn't happened yet, and there may still be other future things we've discussed, but
Totally.
but she says, well, would you guys consider doing a holiday show with Nick and Desi, and you can conduct it and you could write the show and do all that, and so that's kind of what ended up turning it.
That's
and
what
they
did
were
it.
they were totally on board.
And we said yes, obviously.
Yeah. And it is a great you mentioned it being a great family show, and that's I think that's a big part of what makes this thing kind of special. Is like the holidays are friends and family,
So
right?
wonderful.
And we have our guest artists up front. It's a married couple. There's gonna be goo eyes flowing left and right, and then and not the only ones. I mean, I'll either be getting eye rolls or goo eyes from our drummer, who I happen to be married to as well. So we have multiple
sweet.
married couples on stage, and
That's right.
probably be more eye rolls than goo eyes.
No, that's great. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Definitely, I think so. I know with a theater background, I did musical theater growing up, and I've been to Broadway. I've been to London and seen different things. So it's just really wonderful to be able to, like I said, bring the 3 differences together
Totally.
and share it with our community. I know our normal people who come to every single concert, we've had calls since October asking about what's going on for Christmas this year, what's going on for Christmas this year. And it's been so wonderful and exciting to be like, it's something new. it's unique. No one has seen this show before.
Yes, exactly.
No, it's brand new.
And the one night that they
no one
do
has
see
heard
it,
these
they'll never.
arrangements.
That is that's it.
Yeah.
It'll always be different if we ever do it again. That's going to be a special
when
evening.
we do it again.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the beauty of a live performance, and particularly something that has jazz influences in it as well.
It'll always be different.
Yeah, because we have, in addition to Nick and Desi, we have a lot of the members of Rocky Mountain Jazz Collective fly in from Los Angeles area, and they're just some of the greatest improvising musicians that I've worked with in my career.
That's so cool.
Josh Aguiar is our soloist on trumpet, and our primary soloist on saxophone is Ian Vo, and Gary Fukushima is our pianist, and he's an active musician there, and Craig Hall is our guitarist. He comes in from Bozeman, and they're going to take improvised solos that they'll never play that solo again. That's the beautiful part of it. It's just, and the audience that we have directly impacts what goes on stage in there, because if what you see, how you feel, the electricity that happens in the room is going to inspire the players to play differently every single time.
And that's what I love about live theater, live performances, is that you can see the same show 10 times, but it's going to be different every time.
Yes.
Same with this. If you saw this 10 times in a row, you will see differences between the different music, the way we sing, what we bring to the stage. Maybe
After
that
the
night,
song, our banter, anything that
you
comes to our mind.
Exactly, and the audience affects us as well. It changes our performances, and it's
So hopefully
in a good
they'll
way.
applaud.
And the mistakes.
Yes.
Mistakes are actually nobody has
love it.
ever played a perfect show before. If they
No.
tell you they have, they're a liar.
Yep.
Exactly.
Those are the mistakes are the things that make the music that happens human.
Yeah.
If it was a perfect performance, it's a computer.
Exactly.
And so those are the things that every show is going to be. Somebody's going to do something different. That guy's going to step in a hole. They're going to play a note that's a little bit out of tune. I'm going to fall off the podium.
What's the lyrics to Jingle Bells?
That's right.
The audience can help us if we forget. No, we won't forget that one.
When I wrote that arrangement, we reviewed it online. Nick said, I had no idea there were so many verses to
Those
this song.
verses,
Like, what?
the second one I've never heard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just know when Barbra Streisand sings. I know
yeah.
the two that she sings.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. Yeah.
That's right. And what I love about the live theater as well is that there's somebody in the audience, it's their first time listening to live music for the first time, seeing an orchestra for their first time, seeing live singers for the first time. So
The
to know
impact
that
it could
we're
make on them.
influencing and that we're inspiring people for the very first time.
Yeah.
That's what makes us come back on stage over and over, because we love what we do, and we love to know that we affect people's lives. We take them away from the drama and stress of the world for an hour and a half, at once, and then they can just relax and take this in and go home.
Enjoy with their family and start ringing
During
in
the
holidays.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I always tell my students is that when we perform for free. I never get paid for a gig.
Yes.
Yeah.
My pay is always for all the time that I spent driving to the gig,
Before.
practicing for the gig, all that.
Prep, yes.
Performances, I would perform every night for free.
Exactly.
I still expect to get a check.
Yes.
But
Wait, you're getting paid for this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Music is very healing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the kind of maybe some music
some
is
makes you
not
a little
healing.
more-
It could make you a little more insane.
Pumped up or
but
something,
yes,
but yeah.
But I think there's different aspects to different music that it just brings different emotional feel, and you're able to relive a memory.
Yes.
If you've lost someone and you hear something, you're like, oh, that reminded me of a great time with them. Or if you're going through a good time, a hard time, there's always some type of music out there that it resonates with you, and it brings
And helps
forth
people through moments in
Yes.
life. You hear about this song I listened to and helped me figure out something or grieve or, and of course the truth about Christmas music is it will bring you back to a moment or it's just so magical. So many people
Suddenly you're a
will
kid
feel
again.
it. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you, all three of you, for sitting down and having this conversation. We are so excited, and we really hope that this Christmas on Broadway. It's just, I see lights and stars and
Yes.
the amazingness that all of it brings together. So we really hope that you enjoy this show and production, because all the hard work that was put in and the love and just the passion and time, it's going to be extraordinary, and we can't wait.
Us too. Thank
Can't
you.
wait. Thanks for having us.